Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day before starting the video. Please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers say that the Ridge Forrester we used to know is not the same Ridge Forrester that we see today. In fact, a lot of people can't help but wonder why he's become so hostile lately. If he is so in love with the right woman, then why has he become so angry? That's what fans want to know. In fact, during the latest episode of B&B, a lot of people have noticed that the passion that he has in his voice whenever he dislikes something has become quite unhealthy. There's even speculation suggesting that he's going to burst a vein when he sees Brooke and Nick together in Italy. Clearly, he still has a thing for Brooke but just doesn't want to admit it. Of course, the internet certainly did have a lot to say about the matter. Some have even commented with, "It's obvious his anger against women he's fueled by his grievances in life and needs a therapist. Oh wait, he's in a relationship with one, yet she doesn't recognize that." Another fan of the show wrote, "Ridge sounds like that with everyone. Ugh, the way he was giving Finn the side eye. I'm not even crazy about Finn, but Ridge was ticking me off. I think the actor is tired of saying the same thing over and over and over and over and over again." And then there was this comment as well. "That's just the personality of New Ridge. TK said early on that he played Ridge with a chip on his shoulder. Unfortunately, he never played him any other way in the decade since. And if there ever was a character that didn't deserve to have a chip on his shoulder, it's Ridge Forrester." Los Angeles is never short on drama, but lately, Ridge Forrester has been walking around with a dark cloud over his head, and people are beginning to take notice. From terse boardroom blow-ups to frosty family dinners, Ridge's demeanor has shifted, from charming patriarch to something far more hostile. But what triggered this sudden transformation? Buckle up, because the truth is more layered than a Forrester Creations couture gown. Chapter 1. The change in the air at Forrester Creations. A chill had settled in, not the kind caused by a faulty HVAC system, but one emanating directly from Ridge Forrester himself. It began subtly. He snapped at an intern. He rejected designs without feedback. He stormed out of meetings. But the most telling sign? He stopped speaking to Brooke in full sentences. "Ridge, you forgot to sign off on the Hope for the Future redesigns," Brooke reminded him gently one morning. "Not now," he muttered, eyes flinty, as he brushed past her like she was a stranger. Hope, nearby, exchanged a concerned glance with Thomas. "What's going on with him?" she whispered. "He's been different." Thomas shrugged, but his eyes narrowed. "It's not just work stress. Something happened." Chapter 2. Secrets Behind the Scowl. The truth was, Ridge had changed. And not without reason. It all started 2 weeks ago, when he received a mysterious letter. Handwritten. No return address. Just one word written on the envelope in block letters. Reveal. Ridge had opened it alone in his office, and as he read the contents, his face paled, then hardened into something unrecognizable. The note read, "Ask your father about what happened with Massimo. Ask your son about what he's hiding. And ask your wife what she did in Italy. You think you know your family? You don't." Since that moment, Ridge's world tilted off its axis. He didn't say anything, not yet, but he started watching, listening, gathering, and worst of all, doubting everyone he loved. Chapter 3. The Massimo bombshell Eric delighted to see. His son spending more time at the mansion again, had no idea what was coming. "Dad," Ridge said coolly one afternoon, "tell me something. How much of what I believe about our family is actually true?" Eric looked confused. "Ridge, what are you talking about?" "Massimo," Ridge spat. "What really happened between you two? And why does it feel like you've always been hiding something about him from me?" Eric's face froze. "That's ancient history," he said too quickly. "Why bring that up now?" "Because someone's trying to tear us apart, and it's working. When Eric didn't respond, Ridge stood abruptly. If you won't tell me, I'll find out myself. That was the beginning of Ridge's Cold War with his father, a Cold War that spilled into everything else. Chapter 4. The Sun and the Shadows. While Ridge's relationship with Eric began to fray, his suspicions turned toward his eldest son. Thomas had been walking on eggshells ever since he returned to Forrester, trying to prove he was a changed man. But Ridge couldn't ignore the gut feeling that Thomas was hiding something again. He called him into the design office one evening, after hours. "You've been doing great work," Ridge began, tone deceptively mild. Thomas smiled. "Thanks, Dad. I've really been trying." "Then why are you lying to me?" Thomas blinked. "What?" Ridge tossed a manila envelope onto the table. Inside were photos, grainy but clear enough. Thomas at a bank. Thomas with a woman Ridge didn't recognize. Thomas exchanging something with someone in the alley behind Il Giardino. "Who is she?" Ridge demanded. "And why were you wiring money to someone in Monaco?" Thomas looked genuinely stunned. "It's not what you think. That's my therapist. She moved abroad and I've been paying for sessions. I didn't want anyone to—" No, I still needed help. But Ridge wasn't convinced. "Don't lie to me, Thomas. If I find out you're up to anything that could hurt this family, you're done." The hostility in Ridge's voice cut deep. Thomas said nothing, but his jaw clenched as he left. Ridge's suspicions remained, unresolved and festering. Chapter C. 5. Brooke's Italian Secrets. Brooke had always been Ridge's Achilles heel, his compass, and his curse. Their on-again, off-again love had survived decades, but Ridge's newfound coldness had driven a wedge between them. The letter had mentioned Italy, and Italy meant only one thing to Ridge. Brooke's solo trip to Rome last year, she had said it, was a healing retreat, a week of peace and yoga. But now? Ridge wondered if it had been anything but. He confronted her over dinner. "Who did you see in Italy?" he asked sharply. Brooke, startled, put down her wine glass. "What are you talking about?" "I want names, and I want the truth." Brooke's expression flickered with something he couldn't read. Guilt? Fear? "There was someone," she admitted. "A man from my past. But it wasn't romantic. It was closure." "Closure?" Ridge echoed. "You kissed him, didn't you?" Brooke stood, furious now. "You've been looking through my past. Again? After everything we've been through?" But Ridge only stared at her coldly. "I'm not the one keeping secrets." Their argument echoed through the mansion. Donna, listening from upstairs, silently wiped a tear from her cheek. Chapter 6. The Trigger Unmasked. Meanwhile, the sender of the anonymous letter remained hidden in the shadows. But their plan was unfolding exactly as designed. Who was behind it? None other than Taylor Hayes. She hadn't intended to go this far. At first, it had simply been a way to test Ridge's loyalty, to see if his love for Brooke would blind him, again to everyone else's flaws, to make him question everything, and finally return to her. But the game took on a life of its own. Taylor had discovered information about Massimo and Eric's long-standing cover-up, specifically that Ridge's true father might not be either man. A third man had once been involved with Stephanie during a brief period of separation, and a DNA test hidden in a hospital archive hinted at a shocking truth. Ridge might not be a Forrester at all. "I never meant to hurt anyone," Taylor whispered to herself, holding the original DNA envelope in her hand. "But Ridge deserves to know the truth." Chapter 7. Ridge breaks. The walls were closing in. Ridge stood in the middle of the Forrester showroom, surrounded by mannequins dressed in silence. The designer, once so passionate and full of vision, now looked like a shell of himself. He felt betrayed, not just by his family, but by time, by truth, by legacy. Was his whole life a lie? Was he the son of the wrong man? Was he married to a woman who still had feelings for someone else? Was his own son slipping back into darkness? And worse, did he bring this on himself? Brooke arrived quietly, stepping into the echoing room. "You've become someone I don't recognize," she said softly. Ridge turned, eyes bloodshot. "Maybe because I don't recognize myself anymore." She reached for him, but he stepped back. "Until I know the truth about everything." "I can't do this." Chapter 8. Fallout and Future. In the days that followed, Ridge's hostility escalated into decision-making. He suspended Thomas from design duties. He demanded a full audit of the Forrester Family Trust. He left the mansion to stay at the Beverly Hills Hotel. He didn't answer calls. He didn't show up to meetings. Steffi, returning from a Paris trip, rushed to fix the damage. "Dad, please," she pleaded in his hotel suite. "Talk to me. What's really going on?" He finally showed her the letter, the photos, the DNA suspicion. Everything. She gasped. "You think you're not a Forrester? I don't know what to think," Ridge said hoarsely. "But if it's true, what am I, Steffi?" "You're still you, Dad. You're still Ridge Forrester." But he didn't believe it. Final chapter. The reveal to come. By the end of the week, Ridge stood outside Cedars-Sinai Hospital holding a new DNA test in his hand. The results would answer the question haunting him. As he sat on a bench near the Rose Garden, where he and Brooke once shared a vow renewal, he opened the envelope. His hands shook, and his face, twisted not in relief, but something darker. He wasn't Eric's son. He wasn't Massimo's either. A new name was listed, one that would soon rock the entire Forrester legacy. And whoever this man was, he was alive. Ridge stood, his anger now volcanic. The hostility had a name, a face, a new target. And this time, no one would be spared. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our bold and beautiful update YouTube channel for more update news.